Hello everyone, Paul Scafidi, Town Moderator. Today we're going to do a little PSA for the voting, which is coming up for November 3rd. We all have had our practice run a month ago where we were able to give a nice dry run, and we used everybody who came in to vote to see how it worked. It worked pretty well. And as of right now, we don't see any changes being made to how we are going to set up the polling place. You will be given the opportunity to wear a mask and come in the normal atrium way. If you do not want to wear a mask, you can go around to the front of the Talbot Gym on Linden Street and enter that way. There'll be a setup for the non-masked voters to be checked in, get their ballots to vote, put them through the machine and leave. Everybody else can come the normal way through the atrium, go to the ballot clerk, get their ballot, check it, put it through the machine and leave. We also have up the accessibility voting outside on Linden Street, where if you don't want to come into the polling place, you'll have the opportunity to drive up and give it to the assistant moderator and one of the ballot clerks out on Linden Street, and they will go inside and drop it into the absentee ballots, and it will be counted that way. You also can come up the accessibility on Linden Street and actually vote. You'll be asked to bring an ID. We'll check you off the voting list and give you the ballot. You'll sign on the affidavit, and you'll use it just like in a regular absentee ballot, but you can do it there the day of the voting. The other thing, a couple of things we want to talk about today, we're getting a lot of questions about our absentee ballots. Are they being checked? How can I check? We have everything set up that you can follow your absentee ballot. When you request an absentee ballot, the town clerk's office will send you an absentee ballot. The absentee ballot will have your name on the return with a barcode. The barcode, once the absentee ballot comes back to the town clerk's office, the barcode is scanned. That way there we know that you sent it in, and you can then check it online through the Secretary of State's office to find out where your absentee ballot is. And what I'm going to do right now is go over the use of an absentee ballot and what needs to be done when you receive it. What I have here is just a sample, and this is what you will receive when you request an absentee ballot. You will get this mailed to you by the town clerk's office. And I just want to put a little plug for the town clerk's office. The ladies down there are doing a great job. We have gotten close to 4,000 requests for absentee ballots. So that means everybody has to be checked, mailed, the packet's got to be put together, then mailed out, and then when they come back, we have to go through the process of checking everybody in. So they're doing a great job, and when you see somebody or talk to somebody, just say thanks, because it's not easy work. It's pretty tough when you have that many absentee ballots being requested. Normally, we have somewhere in the vicinity during the presidential election of about 800 absentee ballots, 600 to 800. This year, we could break 4,000 absentee ballots. And that is a ton of work for everybody, not only for the clerk's office sending them out and bringing them back, but when we open them and check everybody in. So it's a lot of work, but it'll save you the time and the energy that you don't have to come on voting day if you're concerned about the COVID-19 and all the problems that go with it. So this is what you'll get. You will get a sample, you will get an absentee ballot. Again, this says sample, it's not, but it's exactly what you're going to get. Inside the absentee ballot envelope, you will get a variety of items. First and foremost is the instructions. It's a brown piece of paper. We didn't change these from the primary, and it has a couple of things that you don't have to do when it says here. There is no ward. It says about a ward. This has to do with the primary, so don't worry about the ward. So leave that alone. And all you have to do is follow how to mark your ballot, fill the ballot out, put it inside. Now, here's the ballot, right here. You will get this in the packet. There's your ballot, fill it out, just as it tells you to do. Vote for one, vote for two, whatever. There's your ballot. You will then fill it out. Once it's filled out, you have two more envelopes that you have to use. The first envelope will come with a sticker on it, and it tells you what to do. This is the affidavit envelope. Over on the right-hand side of the envelope, you have to sign it. Fill it out. Follow these instructions, sign it, and fill it out the way it's supposed to be. If this is not filled out, we cannot accept it as an absentee ballot. It will not be counted. It will be rejected. So to make sure your vote is counted, fill it out and sign it. All right, just for further explanation, you can see the yellow sticker that will be on your ballot if you're requesting it for the COVID-19 purposes. It says, signing the affidavit. Physical disabilities include concern for novel coronavirus COVID-19. Sign under absence because of religious observance or physical disability if you are concerned about the COVID-19. So if you're sending in for a COVID-19 absentee ballot, you want to sign the right side of the envelope. That's what you're going to sign, not the left side, the right side. If you sent in your absentee ballot for other reasons than the coronavirus, you will not have the yellow sticker. And this side, the left side, is absence from city or town. And this is if you're out of town and you won't be able to make it to the voting area, this is the side you will sign. So if your absentee ballot comes with the yellow sticker, you want to sign on the right side. If it's for any other reason that's not religious or observance of physical disability or COVID-19, you will sign the left side. Then you'll take the absentee ballot, put it inside this envelope. You'll then seal the envelope. We want it sealed. Do not leave it open. You will take this envelope and put it inside the mailing envelope. You will then seal it. It does, as it says here, the post office will not deliver it without stamps. You have to stamp it if you're mailing this in. Don't think it's already pre-stamped. It is not. You have to put a stamp on it. If it doesn't have a stamp on it, it'll come back to you, and that may delay your vote getting to the town clerk's office in time. Once it's sealed, put your return address on it, seal it, mail it, you're all set. Now you can, after a few days, you can go on the Secretary of State's line, you can put your name in, you can now track your ballot. If you are not going to mail it, you're going to hand deliver this, you don't have to worry about the stamp. You can bring it to the town clerk's office during normal business hours. Realize Tuesday nights they're open till 7, but on Fridays they're only open till noon. So unless there's somebody in the town clerk's office, you can drop this off if there is. If there's nobody there, there's a little box that's in the middle window, and you can put the ballot in the box because it's watched by a closed-circuit TV camera, and there's always somebody in the middle window to watch it. So that box is locked and it's watched, and you can drop it in the box by just walking into the town clerk's office, drop it in, and you're all set. You can leave, and you can also check it. It's the same thing. Once the barcode is on it, it can be checked, and you can follow it to make sure that it has been checked in by the town clerk's office. The next thing you can do with these, you can actually bring them to the voting area on the day of the election. Normally, if you bring it to the voting area, you can't vote by absentee ballot. Once we see you in person, under normal circumstances, we have to take the absentee ballot, mark on it canceled, and you have to go and vote in person. But because of the COVID, they've allowed this to be dropped off the day of the election. Up until 8 o'clock at night, you can still drop it off. By mail, if you mail it in, it has to be accepted by the town clerk's office on the election day, Tuesday the 3rd, by 5 p.m. So think of what's easiest and best for you to make sure that we get this, because it can be hand delivered up till 8 p.m. It can only be till 5 p.m. if it's mailed in. But once we get it, it'll be taken care of. A lot of the questions, not a lot, but we're getting questions from people about how do I know if I drop this off, that my absentee ballot, or if it's mailed in, is my absentee ballot going to go through the machine? We've been doing elections like this with the machine since the early 90s. We've never had a problem whatsoever. You have to have faith in the people that are doing their job. You elect these people, you elect me as moderator to make sure that everybody's ballot is counted. We're not out here to do anything nefarious or anything crazy with your ballot. We're here to make sure that your ballot gets cast. I'm elected as moderator to make sure that all parts of the election are fair, and I do my damnedest to make sure that everybody's ballot is counted, unless there's some type of technical problem. So please don't worry about your ballot. We're not going to do anything with it. We're going to check it in. We're going to bring it to the voting booth, the voting area on Tuesday, the 3rd. We're going to recheck them at that point, open them up, and put them through the machines. At 8 o'clock in the morning, we're going to start doing absentee ballots. Once the absentee ballots have been checked and opened up, they can be brought and put through the voting machine. We're not doing anything crazy. All we're doing is trying to get the ballots done by 8 o'clock that night. So if you see one of the select persons or myself or the town clerk putting ballots into the machine, it's because they have been checked in, and that's the only way that we can count their vote unless something weird has happened to it. So understand that your vote is important to us as it is to you, and we're doing all that we can to make sure that it is safe and secure and the vote counts. So that's how we do an absentee ballot. You'll get this envelope in the mail with all the information and the ballot in it. Make sure you sign the affidavit. That's the biggest part. Not only you filling out the ballot properly, signing that affidavit is critical. Make sure you do it, because without your signature on it, it doesn't get counted. Finally, there's a couple of items that I want to talk to everybody about that we've been hearing a lot about: challengers and poll watchers. I have the manual given to us by the state of New Hampshire. It's procedures for elections. It talks about an observer and a challenger. If you're a challenger, it is one thing. If you're an observer, it's another. And I'm going to read this so no one can misinterpret what I'm saying. This is from the Secretary of State's office as what a challenger can do and what an observer can do. So this is what it is. Challenger versus observer. A challenger is not an observer. A challenger, to hold that status, must have a letter of appointment from one of the political parties, typically signed by the state chair. So without that letter, you can't be a challenger. It has to have a letter. Right, while a challenger may also do what an observer does, the challenger has a statutory right to be positioned where he or she can hear voters check in. Observers and other members of the general public have a right to watch the conduct of the election from outside the rail. They do not have any specific statutory rights. Unless the moderator gives explicit permission, a member of the public, an observer, may not be within 6 feet of the ballot clerk's check-in table. Furthermore, while any voter registered to vote in a town or ward has the right to challenge another voter, he or she is not recognized as an appointed challenger in the statutes. Challengers rarely actually challenge voters. More often they are tracking who votes, reporting back to the parties, get out the vote efforts. Some are trained to monitor the conduct of the election on the political parties and campaigns. That's what a challenger can do. The right to observe. Anyone can come and watch the casting of ballots and the counting of ballots to see for him or herself whether the election is conducted in accordance with the law. These individuals can be understood as observers. They have no special status in the law, and like all members of the public, are entitled to silently observe the election as long as they are not disruptive. I'm going to skip a little bit here. The moderator shall tell them that they must not interfere with voters or election officials. If the observer has a question or concern, he or she may bring that to the concern of the moderator, nobody else, me, the moderator, by silently or quietly signaling to the moderator, who should, as soon as convenient, meet with the observer outside the rail. And again, you're not allowed to be within 5 feet of a registration table or 6 feet of the ballot clerk. Unless specifically authorized by law, no person may stand or sit within 6 feet of the ballot clerk for purposes of observing a check-in of voters without the express permission of the moderator. So that's the difference between a moderator and an observer. Now, the only thing about a challenge that I want to read and talk about is any voter who may have his right to cast a ballot in any given election challenged by a registered voter of the same town or ward. Election officials and challengers are appointed in writing by the political party committees of the Attorney General may also challenge a vote. Usually challenges occur at the time the voter is in the check-in table before being given his or her ballot. No voter or appointed challenger shall challenge a person's qualifications to be a voter at the registration table. Challenges may occur at any point up until the voter deposits the ballot in the ballot box. And they talk about where to position challenges at the polling place, but challenges cannot be within the guardrails, so you'll be outside if you are a challenger within 6 feet. A challenge must be for a specific reason. A challenger must complete an asserting a challenge form signed under oath. The asserting challenge form we'll have available. It's in the back of this. It's basically an affidavit. If the ground for the challenge is age, citizenship, or domicile, the supervisor of the checklist must rule whether or not the challenged voter is either qualified or not qualified. That's at the supervisor. The moderator rules on challenges based on all other grounds. If the voter is found to be not qualified, the challenge is well-grounded. The challenged person may vote only if he or she completes and swears to a challenged voter affidavit. If the challenge is found not to be well-grounded, the evidence is insufficient to make it more likely than not that the person is not qualified, the voter shall be allowed to vote without completing the affidavit form. The law makes it specific. It makes it a specific felony offense to engage in voter suppression. For example, making a challenge based on information the challenger knows to be false or misleading. No person shall engage in a voter suppression by knowingly attempting to prevent or deter another person from voting or registering to vote based on fraudulent, deceptive, misleading, or spurious grounds or information. And that includes a variety of items such as challenging another person's right to register to vote or to vote based on information that he or she knows is false or misleading. So if you're going to make a challenge, you're more than welcome to do it. Make sure you have grounds to do it properly, because it is a Class B felony to do something like that without having the grounds. That's pretty much what we've got coming with us. Again, watch for your absentee ballot in the mail. The town clerk's getting them out as fast as they possibly can. We have people working every day, extra people coming in to get them out as fast as we can. If you're concerned about it getting it to the town clerk's office in time by mail, you may want to consider hand delivering it to the town clerk's office or bring it to the polling place the day of the voting. Other than that, be safe. We're going to be all masked up and ready for you to come and vote. Hopefully it will go smooth and quick, and we can all breathe a little bit easier when it's all said and done. Thanks very much.